Today on Investigate TV Plus, natural gas line strikes on the rise and the results can be catastrophic.
You're just kind of the belief like this is going to happen. People are going to dig.
Yep.
And gas lines are going to get hit.
Yep.
We uncover how these accidents are tied to a critical technology expansion and examine the efforts to keep you safe.
Plus, the next generation of entrepreneurs.
Just because you're young, you can do a lot. You figure it out. You figure it out when you go.
We speak with business owners under 40 finding sweet success and why many owners are taking their futures into their own hands.
Then we introduce you to the couple gliding through life for almost 60 years.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus.
Access to high-speed internet is crucial for education, healthcare, and the economy. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. That's why in 2022, the federal government launched a multi-billion-dollar initiative to get fast broadband internet to every American.
But we found that project may come with an unintended consequence.
It's hard, but I know that in that short time that he was with us, he made an imprint in my heart that will never leave.
5-year-old Alistair Cunningham died in a home explosion about 50 miles outside of Kansas City. Officials say crews installing fiber optic internet cables struck a gas line, leading to that blast. Our team was investigating the dangers of gas line strikes tied to fiber internet construction months before Alistair's death. Gas line strikes tied to telecommunications construction are on the rise. That includes work installing fiber optic internet.
Data from Common Ground Alliance shows in 2022 and 2023, telecommunications work was the leading cause of those hits. And major expansion of fiber optic internet is expected for 2025 as part of a $42 billion federal investment.
Investigative reporter Kristen Crowley has been looking into this issue.
She tracked down some alarming trends and found out what you need to know to stay safe.
They just went door to door to evacuate everybody.
It was in March 2022 when Scott Baucom's family had to race from their home near St. Louis.
The gas line that was hit was right here.
Crews digging in the area hit a natural gas line. What's going through your mind after that?
You know, fear is a natural reaction.
That fear, driven by what happened to a home in a nearby suburb just days earlier.
We had all watched on the evening news. The doorbell camera caught an explosion where a house was literally imploded and it completely collapsed right in front of our eyes.
This home, less than 5 miles from Scott's neighborhood, exploded after a gas leak. It turns out the gas line strike in Scott's neighborhood and this neighborhood were the result of crews digging to install fiber optic internet.
Breaking news.
Fast forward to August of 2024.
Where a house has been damaged in an explosion.
A home exploded in Independence, Missouri. How would you describe the scene from that day?
Organized chaos.
Independence Fire Battalion Chief Eric Michaels says the cause of this explosion, once again,
The construction company was out running fiber optics and they struck a gas line.
less than 48 hours later and just 20 miles away. Neighbors evacuated their homes for a gas leak after the line was struck by fiber optic internet crews. In all of these cases, no one was injured or killed, and while explosions are considered rare, they can be deadly. The pattern was hard to ignore, which led our team to look into fiber optic internet installation and gas line strikes. Here's what we found. The Common Ground Alliance, which tracks gas line strikes nationwide, does not specifically track hits related to fiber optic internet work. However, the organization does track incidents involving telecommunications work, which includes fiber optic installation. In 2021, there were just more than 3,400 gas line strikes from telecommunications work. In 2022, that number jumped to more than 4,500. And in 2023, just more than 4,400, making it the leading work connected to gas line strikes 2 years in a row. When it comes to gas lines being hit during excavation work, are we seeing that happen more often?
We're seeing probably more gas lines being struck just simply because there's more work occurring on.
Randy Norden is executive director for Missouri 811.
So here's a routine ticket.
That's the 3-digit number you're supposed to call nationwide before you dig. 811 then sends out a crew to mark those underground lines like water, sewer, and gas. Randy says sometimes the lines are improperly marked, leading to hits. He says most of the time, it's because contractors are digging too quickly, especially with fiber optic internet installation.
There is an increase of crews looking to dig now for things like fiber optic internet, correct?
Yes, there is.
And so when we talk about that increase, and it's a very competitive rush too, because they want to be the first, does that create the opportunity for more errors?
It can.
The increase in crews installing fiber is in part due to an increase in federal funding. In 2023, $42 billion for broadband equity access and deployment, otherwise known as BEAD funding, was allocated in an effort to bring high-speed internet to every American. And the Fiber Broadband Association projects millions more route miles of fiber optic cable will be installed in the coming years.
Is it possible that as we get to the height of this government funding for expanding internet, that we do see more gas lines hit?
It is possible.
Independence Fire says it's handling about 1 to 2 calls a week for gas leaks. And if there are more construction projects, they expect more calls.
You're just kind of the belief like this is going to happen. People are going to dig.
Yep.
And gas lines are going to get hit.
Yep.
Do you wish that it wasn't that much of a foregone conclusion that this is just going to happen?
Of course I do. But the question is how.
Hundreds of miles away in Virginia, Bedford County workers found an answer that worked for them.
We had 3 different hits of gas lines within about a 6-week period in one particular neighborhood.
County Administrator Robert Hiss says residents were scared an explosion could happen and asked the county to step in.
So we contacted Comcast officials, brought them into our offices, and really had a heart-to-heart discussion about what is happening and what can we do going forward to make this better and also so it won't happen again.
As a result of that meeting, Hiss says the work was paused and contractors were retrained.
Since having that meeting with Comcast, how many gas lines have been hit by crews installing fiber optic internet?
Yeah, to my knowledge, there hasn't been any.
Back in Missouri, Randy agrees communication is key, and so is training.
An important few minutes that could save your life.
The state has a learning management system for contractors with videos and quizzes to educate workers on proper techniques before they dig. And as fiber internet projects expand, Randy says he's traveling the state to make sure crews are equipped with the knowledge to avoid gas strikes.
Are a majority of the gas line hits avoidable?
I would say a lot of the hits are avoidable. Yes, gas lines are in the ground, and yes, we're going to do excavation, and yes, there is risk you're going to hit a gas line. But if we make our due diligence, we mark it properly, and we excavate properly, then we mitigate the risk.
This was the house that
This was the house that exploded, right.
Signs of any destruction are hard to spot now in this O'Fallon neighborhood. And in Scott's neighborhood, the leak was fixed before any major damage. But while the visions of fire crews and emergency workers have gone, the memory stays fresh in Scott's mind.
An explosion like that rarely happens, but it happens.
The good news, no one was injured in any of those Missouri home explosions or gas leaks.
Now we want to inform you of some ways you can keep yourself safe. First, if you want to know of crews digging in your neighborhood, you can call 811 and ask about planned projects. When work begins, if you smell gas, leave your house immediately and call 911.
It's also important to note this work in rural communities isn't as risky since many homeowners have above-ground propane tanks and do not rely on natural gas lines. Still ahead, meet the young people deciding to be their own boss.
I always thought, like since I was really little, I would say like, I'm going to own a bakery.
We reveal why some young Americans want to pass up a traditional paycheck to chase their passion. In February 2025 in downtown Nashville, a sweet idea new to Tennessee rolled out.
We saw rolled ice cream and we were like, we want to bring this back to our hometown.
After experiencing Thai-inspired rolled ice cream during spring break, college friends Malia Bass and Barry Segovia opened the Roll Academy.
Their shop joins one of the estimated 35 million small businesses in the U.S. in 2024. The young women say they hope their business inspires the next batch of entrepreneurs.
Keep knocking on the doors, and when that one door is supposed to open, it will.
We found in recent years the number of young adults taking their careers into their own hands is growing.
According to a Simply Business analysis of U.S. Census data, after a steep drop of young business owners in the early 2000s, as of December 2024, the number of U.S. business owners under 40 is at a 20-year high.
Reporter Gabriella Rusk introduces us to some more young entrepreneurs taking that same step and forging their own path.
So right now I'm doing chocolate chip.
Inside the kitchen at Miggy's Bakes.
And then we top them with an edible cookie dough.
Owner Shelby Olstead is living out her childhood dream.
And I always thought, like since I was really little, I would say like, I'm going to own a bakery.
After years of baking wherever she could find the space, Olstead decided to face her fears.
I was so scared to quit my job when I first was trying to take the leap.
Opening the bakery in Middleton 2 years ago.
So it was either like stay kind of where I was and be more comfortable, or just like try it and go for it.
At 27 years old, she views her age as an asset.
Just because you're young, like you can do a lot. You don't need to have all the experience, know every answer. Just by starting, you figure it out. You figure it out when you go.
It's just a really cool shift that's coming.
Hannah Davidson and Hillary Berg own Mystery to Me together.
People our age are coming into this space because we're learning so much about what it means to be a small business.
Buying the store from the previous owner, who retired at the end of last year.
We've had a number of people come in since we've bought the store and say, we're so glad that somebody took this on and you didn't just close.
29-year-old Davidson and 32-year-old Berg are also both new moms.
We both have small babies, and so neither of us could do it by ourselves, but when it was an option for us to do it together, that was when we decided to do it.
They say owning a business gives them flexibility to be there for their young families.
I think the challenge is figuring out how to balance all of those things and still go home and then be mom.
And I think what you're seeing is a lot of businesses saying, hey, I want to start this, or I want to do this.
Eric Ness is the Small Business Administration District Director for Wisconsin. He believes that more young people are opting for control over their careers.
And a lot of times, when there's some corporate downsizing, you're bringing in people from a corporation that's saying, hey, I've seen all these experience, now I want to do this on my own.
The SBA works to connect upcoming entrepreneurs with more established small business owners to foster mentorship.
There's clearly a real give back in them, and they want to help. And I see that, they say, hey, I've done it. This is my way to help the next generation.
Whether it's a box of baked goods,
2321,
or a brand new book.
We joke that every book bought helps us feed our babies, but it kind of does.
For business owners at any age,
drive you through and make those hard times easier. And without that, a lot of us wouldn't be here.
Shopping small can mean something big.
Shopping at a small business makes a huge difference in the lives of the people who work there, the community that you're in. If it's something you can do, it really does make a difference.
According to a 2024 Gallup survey, the biggest motivators for small business owners are the ability to be your own boss, the opportunity to earn more money, the desire for a more flexible work schedule, and the chance to pursue a passion project.
If you have an idea for your own business, the federal government offers resources from writing a business plan to calculating cost.
You can find a link to the Small Business Administration's guide. Just head to InvestigateTV.com and search Small Business Plan.
Still ahead, meet the couple skating side by side for nearly 60 years.
We put on a lot of miles here.
We reveal how their romance on the rink blossomed.
But first, 2024 was a record year for recalls. We show you how to be your own investigator to ensure the products you purchase online and at the store are safe.
Our in-depth coverage continues. You can get connected to Investigate TV Plus on all social media platforms.
From potentially dangerous baby products to home appliances that pose a fire hazard.
According to federal data, 2024 was a record year for recalls in recent years. Data from the Consumer Product Safety Commission shows 333 products were deemed too unsafe for store shelves, a 6-year high.
The CPSC is tasked with tracking recall information and getting it to consumers.
But there's a chance you may have a recalled product in your home right now without even knowing.
Reporter Josie Sturman shows us how you can be your own investigator to catch a problem product before it causes harm.
From children's pajamas and toys to table saws and even appliances like kitchen stoves, hundreds of household products get recalled every year. So in this Be Your Own Investigator, we'll show you how to protect yourself and make sure problem products get tossed before they cause any trouble. Product recalls are handled by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. Since the early 70s, the CPSC has recalled more than 9,000 products. It happens when a company and the CPSC agree there's a problem. Sometimes it's nothing major, but some defects can be deadly. That's why retailers, including big box stores, online companies, and even thrift stores have to pull recalled products off their shelves. It's also illegal to sell them even at your neighborhood garage sale or your favorite online marketplace. But with so many recalls, how do you keep up? First, when you buy an item that comes with a registration card, make sure you fill it out and mail it back to the manufacturer. Companies use that information to immediately notify consumers about recalls. Also, some online retailers like Amazon use their customer list to get the word out. You can also get recall announcements sent directly to your email inbox. Just go to cpsc.gov. A pop-up window should appear as soon as you hit their site. Sign up and you'll never miss a recall. You can also look up recalls at saferproducts.gov under Unsafe Products. That section will also show you consumer complaints, and you can search for a specific brand or a generic product category. Every recall announcement instructs consumers what to do if they have a recalled product. Some can be returned to the store, some offer a part that'll fix the defect. Also, some explain how you can safely destroy or get rid of that problem product. Sometimes the process to get a recall can take years and a lawsuit. So sometimes the agency will issue warnings about potentially dangerous or defective products before it makes the leap to a recall. You'll find those on the CPSC's website under news releases. Just type the word "warn" into the search box. If you have a suspect product in your house that you think poses a risk, start the ball rolling to keep others safe. Report it to the CPSC at saferproducts.gov. With this Be Your Own Investigator, I'm Josie Sturman.
Still ahead, a match made on ice.
We just love being together. You know, when we're walking, we hold hands. Whatever we do, we get to do it together.
We introduce you to the sweethearts skating together for 6 decades.
A Portland couple who first stepped on the ice together in 1967 is still showing off their flawless footwork.
Reporter Bonnie Silkman introduces us to these skating sweethearts.
We had a sense of oneness on the ice, that two move as one, and as time went along, that's when we got married.
We're calling their love story When Jerry Met Tally. And their beginning starts as teenagers on the ice in some seriously stylish matching outfits.
We skated, and I had never felt such smoothness, such harmony. It was just so beautiful.
Now, 58 years later, with their matching ensembles still intact, of course, Jerry is turning 75 years old, while Tally is nearly 80.
We put on a lot of miles here.
And they're still skating through life side by side on and off the very same rink. In fact, to this day, they lace up and skate here every week, back where it all began.
Tally was already a tremendous skater. She was already a national level competitor. And I was just a pick from the sticks.
Tally, what was your first impression of Jerry?
I thought he was really nice and enjoyed being with him.
The Leonards say they met by chance when a professional skater suggested they compete together based on their similar styles.
She told me that there's a girl in Portland that sure skates like you. I think she saw the same style and passion for skating and said, you need to get together. You just had to have a body chemistry that you looked like you belonged together. There was no push, pull, tug. It was just two moving as one.
Gliding in perfect unison, they went on to make several appearances at the U.S. National Figure Skating Championships, all before tying the knot and opening their own dental practice together.
It's wonderful. He's so kind to me and helps me in every way, and I love him with all my heart.
You too, Mommy.
And now it warms their hearts, knowing that people passing by the ice are feeling the love too.
People come up and share with us how they're enjoying it. We really thank them for their message that they give us. We just love being together. You know, when we're walking, we hold hands. Whatever we do, we get to do it together.
My favorite part of that story was actually watching her reaction during it. They start on there, she's like, wow, they're pretty good. And then when the dentist office thing hit, she was like, what?
You know, that was such an interesting tidbit.
It was an interesting twist to the story, right?
But they are awesome.
They're good.
Smooth.
They are so smooth on the ice.
Well, that's it for us on Investigate TV Plus. I'm T. Chappelle.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Thanks for watching.
On the next Investigate TV Plus, help instead of handcuffs.
I want them to believe in themselves and believe in their future.
One city's plan to support sex trafficking victims and its strategy to lock up those exploiting people trapped in the dangerous cycle.